I'm 52 years old. I've got a full-time job, I've got teenage twins, and last weekend I built a whole new business in one single morning. Not because I'm some kind of superwoman, but because I have a co-founder you've probably already met. And no, it's not a person. I had no idea I needed a co-founder until I met this one. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what changed. And at the end, I'll tell you about the brand new business I'm launching this week because of it. Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to The Bold Biz. If we haven't met yet, I help women over 40 build online side businesses without the hustle, without the burnout, and without trying to be 25 again. If that's you, hit the subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I want to start by saying something I think a lot of women in our age bracket need to hear, and that's this. The playing field has finally been leveled in a way it never has been before, and AI is the reason. Because for years, the women who could build successful side businesses online were the ones who had time to learn all the platforms, money to hire help, or backgrounds in marketing and tech that gave them a head start. But for the rest of us, the barrier to entry felt enormous because you'd look at what successful online businesses required: the funnels, the email sequences, the content calendars, the copy, the branding, and you'd think to yourself, who has time for all of that on top of an actual life? And the honest answer for most of us was nobody, which is why so many women in midlife have been quietly sitting on business ideas for years without ever launching them, because the gap between the idea and what it actually takes to bring it to life felt too wide. But here's what I genuinely believe, and I'm saying this as someone who's been on the internet trying to build businesses for the last 4 years. AI has closed that gap. Not entirely, you still need to do the work, but it's collapsed the time and skill barrier so dramatically that the women who couldn't compete 2 years ago even can absolutely compete now. And honestly, in some ways, the women in midlife have an advantage in the AI era because we've got decades of life experience to bring to the conversation. And AI is basically a tool that helps us articulate, organize, and share that experience faster than we ever could on our own. So let me get really practical, because I think AI is one of those things that sounds great in theory, but feels overwhelming when you sit down to actually use it. The tool I want to talk about specifically today is Claude, which is the AI I use for honestly almost everything in my business now. Claude is made by the company called Anthropic, and the reason I love it is that it feels like talking to a really smart, calm friend who happens to have read everything ever written and never gets tired or grumpy. You can have an actual conversation with it, you can ask follow-up questions, you can say, I don't like that, try again, and it just keeps going. So here are some of the ways I genuinely use Claude every single day so you can see what this looks like in real life. I use Claude to help me write podcasts and YouTube scripts, including pieces of this one. I use it to draft emails to my list when I've got the idea, but can't quite get the words flowing. I use it to brainstorm content ideas when I'm staring in a blank week and I don't know what to talk about. I use it to clean up transcripts from my voice recordings into something that actually sounds polished. And I use it to plan my weeks, sometimes literally just dumping all of my to-dos into a chat and asking it to help me prioritize. Sometimes I use it just to think out loud, to walk through a problem and get clarity on what I actually want to do. And the thing is, none of this requires me to be technical. None of it requires me to learn a complicated platform. All of it just requires me to type the way I would talk. And Claude figures out what I need. That's what I mean when I say AI is your co-founder. Because if you'd hired a human being to do half of what I just listed, you'd be paying thousands of dollars a month. And now you can have that same kind of support for a fraction of the price. And the quality has genuinely gotten that good. Now I want to talk about something I think is really important, because I know there's a lot of fear floating around about AI. especially for women in our generation. I want to address it honestly because I felt some of it myself when I first started experimenting with AI in 2023. There's a fear that using AI is somehow cheating or that you're being lazy if you don't write every word from scratch. I want to gently push back on that because here's the truth. The content you create with AI is still yours because the ideas are yours, the experience is yours, the perspective is yours, and the voice is yours. AI is just helping you get those things out of your head and onto the page faster than you could do alone. It's a tool, not a replacement. And refusing to use it in 2026 is a bit like refusing to use a calculator because you're worried it makes you bad at math, when actually it just frees up your brain to focus on the bigger questions. The second piece of mindset I want to mention is this. A lot of women in midlife tell me they feel behind, like everyone else has been using AI for years and they're just now figuring it out. And that's genuinely not true. The technology is still very new. Most people are still figuring it out. And the women I see thriving with AI are not the ones who started earliest. They're the ones who just decided to start, period, and got their hands dirty. So if you've been holding off because you think you don't know enough or you're somehow behind, please hear me. You are not behind. You are right on time. And the only way to learn AI is to actually use it. So start with one task this week. Ask Claude to help you write one email or brainstorm one piece of content or just organize your week and just see what it feels like. That's the whole entry point. Okay, so practically, where should you start? I'm going to keep this really simple because I don't want anyone walking away feeling overwhelmed. Go to Claude AI, create a free account. There's no credit card needed for the free version. And the free version is genuinely powerful enough to do most of what I just described. You don't need to start with a paid plan. The free version is more than enough to fall in love with the tool first. Then the very first thing I want you to do is just have a conversation. Ask Claude something you're working on, ask it to help you draft something, ask it to explain a concept you've been confused about. Treat it like a smart friend you're catching up with. Don't try to be impressive, don't try to be technical, just talk to it. And I promise within about 15 minutes, you'll start to see what's possible. And if you want a proper walkthrough, I've put together a free Claude Quick Start Guide that takes you through your first steps with specific prompts and examples. So you're not staring at a blank chat window wondering what to type. The link to grab it is the very first thing in the description below this video. It's totally free, just type in your email and it'll land in your inbox in minutes. Okay, so I told you at the start of this video that I built a brand new business in one morning. And now we're at the moment where I get to tell you all about it. I want to set up the scene a little bit because the way this happened is genuinely a perfect example of everything we just talked about. AI as a co-founder, AI as a thinking partner, AI as the thing that helps you see what's actually possible. So here's what happened. I woke up last Saturday morning, just a totally normal Saturday, and I sat down with my coffee, and I had a thought experiment I wanted to run with Claude. I said, can you pretend that I don't have the Bold Biz and I don't have my Swedish brand that I've been running since January, and just imagine I'm starting from zero today. Knowing everything you know about me, my skills, my background, my interests, my limited time, what kind of side business would you recommend I start? And it gave me a list of 10 suggestions. And most of them were genuinely interesting, but 2 of them really lit me up. So I just kept going with the thought experiment. I said, okay, what would this look like a year from now? How would this develop? How could I tie it into the Bold Biz? What would it take to make this work alongside everything else I'm doing? And by the end of that morning, ladies, I had a whole new direction. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I went to bed Friday night feeling a little stuck, a little unsure of what was next, and I woke up Saturday with a brand new business mapped out. And the thing that made the difference was sitting down with Claude and just brainstorming together. So everything I've talked about in this video, all of those benefits of AI as a co-founder, this is the absolute proof of it. Because I wouldn't have seen this direction sitting at my kitchen table on my own. I needed something to bounce ideas off, something to expand my thinking, something to challenge me, something to take what was in my head and turn it into a real plan. And AI did that in a single morning. So here's what I'm building. It's a brand new business called Quietly Digital. And the website is live this week at quietlydigital.co. And what it is a faceless tech and AI services brand for coaches, consultants, and service providers who want to grow their online businesses but don't want to spend their evenings wrestling with the tech side. Basically, I'm offering a done-for-you System.io funnel setup, which is the platform I've been using and absolutely loving for the last 4 years. And later in the summer, I'll be launching a course that goes alongside it, teaching the same audience how to use Claude to write their content and run their business going forward. And the reason this is so exciting and the reason I'm sharing it with you here on YouTube is that I've decided to build Quietly Digital completely in public as a live case study for the Bold Biz audience. Meaning you get to come along for the entire ride. You'll see what it actually looks like to start a brand new business at 52 while working a full-time job. You'll see what I'm doing each week, how many hours it's taking me, what's working, what isn't, what surprises come up, what I'm learning, and what I would do differently. The whole thing, honestly, transparently, week by week. Because here's what I know, ladies. Most of us don't need another person telling you what to do in theory. You need to see someone actually doing it in real life, making the messy decisions, hitting the obstacles, working it out as they go. And that's what I'm going to give you with this. It's the case study I wish someone had given me 4 years ago when I was starting out, constantly wondering if I was doing it right. The name Quietly Digital, just to explain the choice quickly, came from this idea that you can build a business in midlife without being loud, without taking part in hustle culture, without grinding yourself into the ground or being in everyone's face all the time. You can build something quietly, steadily, on your own terms, in the pockets of time you have around the rest of your life. That's the energy I want this brand to carry, and that's exactly the way I'm going to build it. I'm not setting some aggressive overnight goal. I'm just going to set things up properly, talk about it honestly here on YouTube and on the podcast, take on my first few clients at a founding rate, and grow it organically over the next year. And you're going to see every step of it. So that's it. AI as your co-founder. It's not cheating. It's not lazy. It's not too late for you to start. And it's just the most powerful tool any of us have ever had access to. And it's especially powerful for women in midlife who finally have something to bring to the table that AI alone could never replicate, which is lived experience. If this video resonated with you, hit subscribe and ring the bell. New videos every Thursday for second chapter women who are ready to build something of their own without burning out. And grab the free Claude Quick Start Guide. The link is the very first thing in the description below. It takes you from, I have no idea where to start, to actually using Claude in about 15 minutes. Until next time, stay bold, ladies, and see you next week.